Hey there, morning everybody. Morning from the lake. Here, I'm going to show you guys I'm out camping. Look at the Texas lakes. It's a marina over there. Just off the marina. This is what we call primitive camping in Texas. Primitive camping. If people only knew how I grew up. I grew up with very primitive camping. Very, very, very primitive camping. My daddy had a gold claim, and we dredged for gold when I was a little girl up in the Sierra Nevadas, northern California, north of Sacramento, south of Redding, up by Tahoe, Truckee is where I grew up in the early days, and we had a gold claim. So we panned for gold. My dad had a dredge, and he had all the snorkeling gear, the wetsuit, and he would go under, and we had to hike about a mile and a half down this ravine to this river called Kanaka River. And my dad threw a log over this waterfall area, and we had to walk across the log of this pretty good wide mountain river. And my mom and my dad actually cleared out three different layers of campground. So we had like a kitchen, and then we had the bedroom area, and then the bathroom area, which was just a hole in the ground way up top and off to the side. But my parents actually took a whole bunch of rocks and built into the rocks. Like, my mom had an outside oven, so she would bake fresh bread, and we spent like 4 or 5 months up there, and we would just come back down to the valley, maybe every 4 or 5 weeks we would come back down to the valley, and we would share, share with other people what we had gotten up there and all this different stuff. And I remember my dad, he would get, there was this one piece of gold. It was about the size of a turkey heart, I guess you could say. It was pretty decent size, and he found that. I don't know what the heck's going on with my internet, but so this is not primitive camping. Not when you grow up with actual primitive camping where you have to, do that kind of hiking. And it was definitely interesting. It was all fine and dandy until some really bad people came in and stole all the claims under threat by gun force. But so that was my early days. But that definitely, I'm an outside girl by nature. Hey, good morning, Michael. Morning, Nick. Morning, Patrick. Morning, Tom. So I'm definitely that outside girl that loves Mother Nature, loves hiking, loves getting dirty. It's far more handy. I always say, don't let the blue eyes and blonde hair and nicely done nails fool you. I can do a lot of very guy-oriented stuff pretty dang easily and enjoy it. But as we're sitting out here, and people are gathering wood for me so that I can go back and make eggs and sausage and pancakes over the open fire this morning for my crew, I decided, I'm going to go to Conscious Coffee and share a little about, really that the flow and our natural way of being. And we really stop that kind of stuff, our naturalness, this primitive naturalness, because we feel that it's so primitive. We think that being in flow, listening to our emotions, listening to what our bodies have to say is wrong. It makes us just not civilized people. That's too primitive for us. But what we're actually really starving for is our primal roots. We really do need to tap back into this thing right here, our body, and do the inquiry work and pay attention to who we are and what the messages of our truth is really trying to get through to us, instead of ignoring everything and just being these bobbleheads of the modern world. Because you know what, we tend to be so caught up in our phones, in our computers. You know, I'm just as guilty as anybody else. Look at me, I'm out here camping and I managed to get my conscious coffee in. Now that is a business commitment to myself. That is, you know, that's just part of, because conscious coffee is such a staple for my coaching practice. That easy free share that I can do and allows me to connect and be seen. But outside of that, pretty much my phone is just put away. I turned my phone off last night and threw it in the tent in the little side pouch, and that was that with that. And we threw a sheet out on the grass, and we just laid there for probably an hour and a half, everybody, and just looking at stars and telling stories and laughing and giggling and, you know, just really having good connected time. No nothing else going on. And my 6-year-old son and my 4-year-old son, they are addicted right now to learning how to break up wood. So they've each got their own little small axe, and they're learning how to cut up wood and everything, and running around and doing that kind of stuff. And it's just those primal roots of us being human and tapping back into that, and the feeling that comes from it. And you know, we have these opportunities every single day to access our flow, to access that primal root aspect of ourselves, which is us embodying ourselves instead of sticking ourselves in our heads, into social media, into our phones, into our computers 24/7. And what do? We get up in the morning, and the very first thing the majority of people do is they grab their phone and they look at social media, they look at their email, they look at their bank account. That's the things that they do. These are the things, like before the feet hit the ground, the majority of people grab their phone and they explore what's going on the web real quick in these primary areas, right? So what does that do though? That is instantaneously, I'm not going to pay attention to how I feel. I'm not going to lay here and connect to my body. I'm not going to lay here and feel into who I am and what is going on. I'm not going to do positive thinking or positive thoughts or just some good breath work. No. Instead, I'm going to get interrupted by my 6-year-old. Instead, what we're doing is we're focusing in on the world that is out there, the world that is out there, the world of our minds, our worries, our concerns, instead of the embodiment of ourselves. And then from there, what do? We get up, we get going with our day, maybe play some music, you know, have different things, news come to us while we're showering, that kind of stuff. And then we go and we turn on the news and we listen to it while we're cooking breakfast or while we're getting ourselves ready. And then we get in the car and we have music on or the radio on or news on in the car. Or I'm in the middle of something, baby.
I was trying to lower the duck to that.
You were trying to lure the duck to me?
Yeah.
Well, go get some more bread and see if you can do it.
Oh, it's all gone.
So we get into the car, we have news going, we have all this different stuff going, and then what? We get to work, and then most of us settle into something that has to do with a computer, right? And we're just totally enwrapped in computer land for the majority, right? We get wrapped up in computer land, and then we leave and we listen to the radio again, pay attention. Hey, good morning, Melissa. Pay attention to the news again. Get home, you know, like we're checking our phones throughout the day. We check our phones while we're driving. We're getting updates. We're getting all this different stuff, our emails. We do that. We get home and we have just this smidgen of time, if we're lucky, without, where we do a little bit of connection with our family or just a little bit of downtime. But in general, most people's downtime is focused in on watching a show, right? Flipping the TV on, watching a show. Even if we go to the gym to work out, what do? We have earphones in, little earbuds in, and we exercise listening to electronics. Well, all of this electronic stuff that we're doing does not allow us any space to tap into who we are, to feel ourselves, to feel our bodies. And it is so vitally important and enriching to the soul and into just finding our peace, finding our flow, getting back into that harmony of self and alignment to core, to really just let a few hours, I'm not asking for a few days, although a few days is freaking amazing if you can do it, but to just let go of all of this stuff out here, all that external world, all those worries, and just go. And you know, you don't have to go camping to do it. You don't. Every single day, I start my daily practice every single day is that I don't look at my phone. I don't. I do my gratitudes first thing in the morning. Before my feet hit the ground, I lay in bed and I get off a good 15 to 20 gratitudes. You know, everywhere if I'm having a tough day, and then I'm starting out with, I'm grateful that my heart kept working all night and that the blood kept flowing through my veins, and that, you know, that I'm breathing right now. I'm grateful for the opportunities I have. And I go through like this list of gratitudes in the morning, whatever rises up for my soul, and I go ahead and I just feel into that. And then I tap into my body, and I take a hand and I place it on my chest, and a hand and I place it on my stomach, and I just do some deep breathing. Breathing that's not into the chest, but into the actual stomach. Like letting my stomach expand out, not being concerned about if I look fat in that moment or not, but just really letting my stomach expand out and breathing in and just feeling into my body and going, where am I tense? Where am I, where does my body feel out of alignment? Where do I feel like I'm holding? Where am I really holding today? And letting it just kind of relax down and dropping into the presence of that spot in my body and relaxing whatever might be tense in that moment. And then just to feel like, what am I feeling right now? Like really, truly, what is the sensation in my body? What is my emotional like? What am I really, truly feeling? Breathing into it. And if it's negative, asking myself, is this true? Is this really true of me today? Is this me? Or is this something that I am holding in me that has me resisting the abundance and the flow that my life has in it? Because often when we have such negativity, it's nothing more than us holding resistance in our life to all the blessings and the beauty that we have. So just to ask self, hey, what is it that's really going on here? Is this really true? Is this really who I am? Is this really truly in alignment to myself? Because those negative thoughts, they're not in alignment to your core. Those negative feelings are not in alignment to your core. That is not who you are. That is a choice that you are making to be resistant to the abundance that you do have in your life. And then, you know what? Then I get up and then I go on about my day. I make my coffee and I do my conscious copy and I write my daily musing and I touch base on different things. I do not look at my bank account. I do not listen to the news because the news is so negative. I'm like, if it's really important, it's going to come to me this way or that way. Every now and then I have my phone set up to get certain news things just so that I'm aware of different things that are going on. But I look at it once every day, once. And it's just a real quick brief, get the titles and go, okay. And occasionally I will actually go a little bit more in depth on it. Now getting closer to voting season, I will go and explore different things a little bit more in depth, but that's another story. That's more making about a commitment there as to who I choose to vote for or not and why. In general, though, in my day-to-day practice, I don't listen to the news. I don't watch it. My TV stays off the majority of the day. I focus in on daily practices of getting sunshine, of meditation, of exercise, of connection. Yesterday, I wrote an article about the blessings of my family, and it was all based on the value of intimacy and where intimacy comes from. And one of the comments that I made in there was that that it's the important moments when we're connecting somebody, no devices involved. As I see so many people, and I work a lot with couples, and I work a lot with single people who want to become a couple, right? So they're looking for that significant other, but they can't put down their phone. They go out on a date, and they're sitting across from somebody, or they're sitting across from their partner of the last 10, 15 years, and they spend their whole date with this other person looking at their phone and surfing through whatever they're surfing through, instead of actually connecting to the other human being that is not 3 feet away from them. And our world has really just caused this kind of disconnect. So it is so important to stop the disconnect, to stop ourselves from getting into that flow, from being that earthy, grounded, primal self in different ways, and actually embracing those primal roots, because as unevolved as you might feel that they are, they're still who you are. There's still that core of, no, I do have a body. No, there is sensation. There is body wisdom. And this up here, this can really mess with us. This can really make us think one thing is happening when it's not happening. We can get so stuck on it and so determined in all these assumptions. And then find out a week later, a couple months later, a couple years later, how wrong we really are by just getting caught up in the thoughts that we're thinking that we're not consciously being aware of. And realize that the thoughts that you think, they do create the world that you're living. So it's so important to be conscious of what you're thinking. But it's a heck of a lot nicer to be conscious of what you're thinking when you're also leaning into the wisdom of your body, the wisdom of your flow, and finding that peace, that harmony, and doing the practices around that. So I encourage you today to, on this beautiful, beautiful Sunday, at least it is here in Texas, I encourage you to just take a moment. And you know, for anybody who's off to church today, after church, before church, if you're not going to church sometime today, to just take a moment with no phone, no radio, no TV, no computer screen staring at you, and just take 15, 20, 30 minutes and just feel the breeze on your skin. Listen to the birds chirping. Look at the sky. Look at the clouds. Pretend that you're 5 again and that you're going to make pictures out of the clouds in the sky. Or become amazed at the beauty of a flower or just the smell of the flowers. Sit in a park if you're in the city. Sit in a park where there's nature around you and just take it in. Allow yourself to take that in and do the practice that I shared on the front side where you allow yourself to actually feel your heart rhythm and feel your breathing into your stomach and expand your stomach and really just take a couple minutes to breathe deep and feel where you're holding the tension, where the resistance is, and asking yourself where that's coming from and if it's really truly true or not. Because what you're going to find is that a lot of the stuff in your life you're causing in resistance by not opening up to your own flow, to your own rhythm. So go explore that. I am going to enjoy a beautiful day. We've got some canoeing going on and we've got some different stuff that we're going to do, and we're taking a break in the middle of the day to go watch the new Lion King because the theater is not very far from us, so we're off to go see Lion King midday. And other than that, it is just campfires and laughter and star watching and fishing and canoeing and enjoying a beautiful Texas Sunday. So I love you guys. As always, you can follow me at www.kendalwilliams.com. And I'm going to give you one more little loop around here for anybody who's popped in at the end, so you can kind of see where I'm at. It is a beautiful day out, as you can see. That's the marina over there, and all of our non-primitive camping. So, okay, everybody. I love you guys. I will catch you tomorrow with another Conscious Coffee. As always, I wish I could see everybody. I'm going to try to say hello to some people that I can see here. Hey, morning, Teresa. Morning, Xavier. What did you say, Xavier? Awesome energy. Efficient morning. Wavelengths. Beautiful guys vibes. Thank you. Morning, Terry. Morning, Jason. Good morning, Melissa. I think I already said hello. And Amy, hi. Whoop. Whoop, whoop, whoop. I lost you guys. I accidentally pushed a button. Okay. Okay. Everybody, have a beautiful, beautiful day. Beautiful Sunday. Namaste. As always, stop existing. Start living. I love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow.